Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a threat that sounds like it's straight out of a disaster movie, but is a very real possibility for millions. California's potential for a catastrophic megaflood. We're used to hearing about wildfires and earthquakes, but a storm big enough to put the Central Valley underwater. Scientists are seriously concerned, and it could completely reshape the Golden State. So what exactly is a 100-year storm? Well, the name's a bit misleading. It doesn't mean it happens once every century. It's a statistical term for a storm so extreme, it has a 1% chance of happening in any given year. But here's the scary part. With our climate changing, these extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and much more intense. What used to be a 1% chance could soon become a much more common reality. California has seen this before. The Great Storm of 1861 to 1862 is the ultimate example. For 43 straight days, a massive atmospheric river, think of it as a fire hose of water vapor in the sky, just hammered the state with rain. It turned the Central Valley, which grows about a quarter of the entire nation's food, into a gigantic inland sea. We're talking 300 miles long and 20 miles wide. The state capital, Sacramento, was underwater for months. If a storm like that happened today, the damage would be almost unimaginable. Scientists at UCLA have modeled what a modern version of this storm, which they call Eric storm, would look like. Their research shows it's more likely than we think. Imagine a relentless chain of powerful atmospheric rivers, one after another, slamming the state for weeks. These aren't your typical winter storms. They're warmer, they hold way more moisture, and they can dump feet of rain in the mountains and inches in the cities, day after day. The first thing to fail would be our water systems. California's dams and levees were mostly built decades ago for a climate that doesn't exist anymore. They were designed to handle slow, gradual snowmelt, not a sudden, massive deluge of rain. In an Eric storm, reservoirs would fill up at terrifying speeds. Dam operators would have to make an impossible choice: release huge amounts of water and intentionally flood communities downstream, or risk a total dam failure, which would be infinitely worse. Let's go back to the Central Valley. It's basically a giant, ancient lakebed protected by an aging system of levees. In a megaflood, major breaches would be almost guaranteed. Water would pour into the valley, swallowing towns, farms, and critical infrastructure. Major highways like Interstate 5 and Highway 99, the main arteries for travel and commerce, would become impassable rivers. The economic impact would be devastating. The loss of all that agriculture would trigger food shortages and price hikes across the entire country. And this danger isn't just for the Central Valley. Major cities like Los Angeles and the San Francisco Bay Area are also in the line of fire. In Southern California, the concrete-lined LA River is designed to get water to the ocean fast, but it has its limits. If it gets overwhelmed, you'd see widespread urban flooding. Streets would turn into raging torrents, trapping people and causing billions in damage. Just think about the traffic on a normal rainy day in LA, and now imagine a flood. It would be total chaos. In the Bay Area, you'd have a triple threat: river flooding, city runoff, and a storm surge from the bay. Low-lying communities in Silicon Valley, home to the world's biggest tech companies, are extremely vulnerable. Critical hubs like San Francisco and Oakland airports could be completely flooded and shut down for weeks or even months. The economic shockwaves from that would be felt all over the world. So, the big question is, are we prepared? The short answer is no, not even close. California has made some progress, but the sheer scale of this threat is way beyond our current defenses. Upgrading our infrastructure, raising levees, modernizing dams, and expanding flood channels would cost hundreds of billions of dollars and take decades to complete. It's a monumental challenge. Beyond the concrete and steel, there's the human side. An Eric storm could trigger the largest evacuation in American history, displacing millions of people. Where would they all go? How would they be sheltered? How do you even begin to manage moving that many people safely, especially when all the major roads are underwater? These are the questions that keep emergency planners up at night. So what can we do? It's a two-part approach. First, we need a massive long-term investment in our infrastructure. And that doesn't just mean building bigger and stronger. It means building smarter. We need to use more nature-based solutions, like restoring floodplains and wetlands that act as natural sponges to soak up floodwater. It's about working with nature, not just trying to fight it. Second, on a personal level, we all need to be more aware and prepared. Do you know if you live in a flood zone? You might be surprised. It's critical to have a family emergency plan and a go bag ready with essentials like water, food, medicine, and important documents. And please, if evacuation orders are given, you have to follow them. First responders will be completely overwhelmed, and you can't expect to be rescued if you choose to stay behind. This isn't about scaring you. It's about being realistic and respecting the power of nature. California is a land of extremes. We've focused on earthquakes and wildfires, but the threat from the sky is just as real and potentially even more destructive. The science is clear. A megaflood isn't a matter of if, but when. The Great Storm of 1862 will happen again. Our actions today will decide whether it's a manageable disaster or a catastrophe that changes our society forever. Thanks for watching. This is a heavy topic, but it's an important one. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what preparedness looks like where you live. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. Stay safe and stay prepared.